I have a colleague who produces low quality reports. They're full of mistakes. They don't look very nice. It's not easy to read. And I wanted to share with you in this video the tool that I helped teach him that improved the quality of his reports. So my name's Chris, this is Engineering Upgrade. I like to share the tools, tips and tricks that improve the value of professionals in the workplace. Now, whether that be by improving the function of the professional or by reducing the resources that they consume. In this video, I wanted to talk about the one tool that I taught this young professional to improve the quality of his reports, and that's called the production check. Now, the production check is the opportunity that you have to look at your report and say, I'm here as a member of the audience, the people who are going to read this report. What do I think of it? And it's important to have that separation between author, the person who wrote it, and audience, the person who's going to read it. And that's what I tried to teach this young professional, that you have to separate yourself. There's no point just reading through again and looking at it once more, because you're going to miss the same mistakes. You need to put yourself in the audience position. And so why we do this is to read as if our audience would read our report, and that way we can pick up on new mistakes. Now, how do we go about that? For a report like this, in this case it was a written report on Word, and I told him, print the report as if our audience is going to read it. So print out the report, then sit down at a separate table to the one you normally sit at and read through with a pen. Get a pen and mark off any mistakes that you find. Then you can come back, sit at your computer and fix those mistakes. Now, I told him that it was important to do it in that order, because the purpose of this process, this tool, this production check, is to make sure that you're separating yourself from the writer. You're no longer the writer of the report, you're the audience. And by putting yourself in the audience position, you're going to think with a critical eye and review it. So how do we do this in more detail? So first of all, we prepare our report. So we've typed up our report. It's ready to go. We send it to the printer, we get it printed out, color copy or however it's going to be read by the audience. If it's going to be read on a computer screen, then put it on a separate computer screen. I've seen other versions of this tool. I've seen alternative opinions, other versions of this tool where they recommend changing the font. The effect is the same. We're trying to remove ourselves from the position of the writer. So some people I've seen some recommendations on the internet to change the font of the report instead, and then read it again, because it's removing your brain from the position of the reader and putting yourself in the position of the audience. In our case, I don't like to change the font because font is part of the review. I'm trying to get this young professional to review reports from a visual perspective as well. So after it's all prepared, after he's gotten it ready to print, sends it to the printer. Then it comes back and we sit down at a separate table, separate from his desk, and we go through with a pen. Now, it's important to go through I feel it's important to go through separately with a pen. I don't like going through on the computer screen, and I don't like finding a mistake and then going to fix it. I like to identify all the mistakes and then go and fix it, because that way I'm thinking about it as an audience member would. I'm not thinking about it as a writer. I'm not going to update the mistake as I find them. Now, I found this effective for engineering drawings. I found this effective for printed reports. But if you've tried this out, this production check tool, and you found it's not so effective for you, please leave a comment below and I'll see what I can do to help. Because I can't imagine a situation where putting yourself in the shoes of your audience, taking a step back and looking at your report from an audience perspective is going to be detrimental. It's not going to work. So, to recap there, this one tool that I like to use is called the production check. It's called the production check because it's the check you do as it's ready for production. How we do the production check is that we get our report, we print it out. We sit at a separate desk and we go through with a pen and mark off all the mistakes that we find. Then we put it back. Think with a critical eye. Think with the eye of your audience. If there's any tip that I want to leave you with from this video, perhaps the secret hint that I want to leave you with from this video is that you can't think like the writer. You need to think like the audience. You need to examine critically and say, does this make sense to I'm in the audience. Does this report make sense to me? Is this the right message that's being said? How do I feel about the message that I'm getting from this report? Because that's how your audience is going to think about it. some other hints that I found. You can try scanning your report quickly as well. So when it's printed, try scanning through. I've often mentioned on this channel to think about reading things from the perspective of the busy executive. So imagine you're there in your busy executive desk and you've got maybe 10 seconds to digest this report. Flick through it. Does the meaning come across in the executive summary? Is it interesting? Can I scan the report quite easily and just flick through it for a few seconds? Then, is it intriguing enough that the busy executive may want to read more? So that's something I like to do in my reports. Give people the option to scan the report. Make sure that the bolding, the fonts, the headings support scannability. Then I want to make sure that it gives the reader the option to dive further into the report and get more detail out of it. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. Otherwise, my name's Chris, this is Engineered Upgrade. I improve the value of professionals by sharing tips, tricks, and tools. Please hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you in the next video.